Hey all, Board Game Rants here where you'll find everything solo, tabletop, gaming, and more. Thank you for joining me. It's that time of the year again. It's the end of the year again. It's the end of the decade. Let's talk about what I played in the top 10 my favorite solo games of the year. Here we go. So again, welcome. Those of you who watch the channel know that I do what's called an MVP show, most voraciously played games of the month, where I go over what I played, how many times I played it. Usually I talk about a game that, or something that most surprised me, something that was most disappointing, and then the MVP, most voraciously played game, kind of my favorite game of the month. And so I went back, looked over that entire list, because I wanted to give you a reference so that, when I go over my top 10 list, you know what I've played. It's not necessarily games that just came out in 2019. It might be games that I finally got my hot little hands on in 2019. Something can be pretty difficult, as you know, with Kickstarters coming out and weird things all over the place. Some things are available, some things are not. Anyway, that entire list will be down in the show notes, so you can take a look at that. But to sum it all up, I think I totaled it right. Came up with, across the year of 2019, I got 590 plays in of games. That is across 63 different games. And I didn't include games like Uno or Pinochle and family night stuff. But again, you'll see that list of games all down below. And of those, many I've been playing for a while. So it's narrowed down even more than what you see there. But I just wanted to give you a reference so you know why I maybe chose the games that I did, because it can only be the games that I played, right? And some other quick little notes I guess I want to bring up. I like heavier games. So that's what you're going to see on this list. And I play solo games. So that again is what you're going to see on this. It's solo tabletop gaming and more, right? So one thing I realized, because I went on Board Game Geek, I was kind of curious of something. I was like, what is the kind of the average weight here? And what I came up with, at least in this last few days, according to the weight scale on Board Game Geek, the average weight of these 10 games that I'm about to come up with here for you, 3.68. So pretty weighty, on the weighty side. And of the 590 plays that I got in this year, 240 were dedicated to these 10 games. So these games really took, that's like 40% of my entire year there with these 10 games. So hopefully I came up with a good, meaningful list here for you. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10, Street Masters. Street Masters I started playing here at the end of the year. It's the lightest game. I played it 13 times. It's got a weight of 2.71, and it's just a feel-good, rock'em sock'em, punching bad guys, kicking bad guys, grappling bad guys. It's kind of the 3 attacks. That's why I said that. And just trying to take them down. And it's wonderful in that you can just set up such variety, because you pick a fighter, you pick an enemy that you want to go against, and you pick a stage that you want to, play on. And those 3 elements make for incredible variability. It's a fast setup. It's a fast play. It's my lightest game on the list at number 10. Number 9, Trismegistus. So this is a game, too, that I just started kind of playing. I got 9 games of it in. It's a heavier game. Daniele Tassini, I believe, of Teotihuacan, and some other games. Teotihuacan was one of my favorites of last year. David Turchi did the solo variant for this game, Trismegistus. It's, you play a chemist, and you're just trying to combine these elements and develop your formulas and pull off experiments, and then you're trying to build your Philosopher's Stone while you're doing all these transmutations, and there's these dice that that really, depending on their potency, allow you to take certain actions based on their color and their symbols, and it's a lot. The weight of this game, at 3.89, but once you get it down, it moves pretty quick, and it has a lot of fun elements, a lot of chain reaction elements that allow you to take pretty big turns, and I like that, especially when I'm playing solo. Not so much when I'm playing multiplayer. That was number 9, Trismegistus. On to number 8, Black Angel. Black Angel I played 18 times. Weight is at 3.81. So another heavy game. But that it felt quite a bit at 3.89 with Trismegistus. It felt, much lighter to me. It's a fast game. You really you're playing up against an AI called Hal. You gotta pick, and you gotta go after a strategy, and you gotta stick with it. There's a lot to this game that happens so quickly, it feels like. My favorite thing about this game is that it has this CPU board that basically is your board, and you play on it, and you've got these tiles, this 9x9. You're going to purchase these tiles and plug them in, and you want to do it in a certain way that you can really get the most bang for your buck as you activate a certain row or column of actions. And there's the colors involved with these guys design Troyes, I think, or Trois. And it has that same basic mechanic with the 3 colored dice, and you roll them, and then you're going to be buying them from your opponents or using them yourself. Fantastic game where you play this AI trying to save the human race and get them to this planet. Wonderful. That was Black Angel number 8. Number 7, Cerebrum. This was a big Mind Clash game that didn't get much traction this year. It looks like a big tie-dye mess. It's essentially a area control game, and but you also, there's the deck building elements, and there's again these wonderful combinations you can pull off that just allow you on your turn to just do these incredible things. You know, you do this, which allows you to do that, which then feeds into this, which wraps back around. Now you can do more of this, but then you can go this direction and do that. These free actions and these, it is just awesome. I loved this game. It was probably the most difficult game for me to grasp this year. I played it 32 times. The weight is 4.31. This is a beast. And trying to learn the solo game and the main game at the same time were like 2 big games in themselves. So be prepared if you take this one on, but I dare say it's worth it. That was number 7, Cerebrum. And moving on with Dungeon Degenerates, coming in at number 6. That I played 10 times. That I just started playing this last month. Just got my hands on it. It's a game that I've been, you know, I mean, there's so many RPG games, so many dungeon games out, so many adventure games out there. It's just like enough already. But I got wind that this was a pretty darn good game. I was able to I got a great deal on it. Picked it up. And no regrets. Played it 10 times already this month that I've had it here in December. The weight on that is 3.51. And one of my favorite things about it, you know, it's beautiful. I love the colors. I just love it. And some people, it's a big turnoff. I love it. Also, too, one of my favorite things about this adventure game is it just comes on a board. It just has actually a game board and not a bunch of modular stuff. So once you get it all set out, there's a lot of cards in this game, but once you get it all set up and you get going, there's, you know, between mission to mission, you know, with this campaign that you can go on, the setup is minimal. And so you don't have, there's not this big stop and setup, you know, make sure you got tile this and tile that and, you know, put this here and add this there. There's a little bit of that, but it's all on this board that you get to explore and you get to know. And I am loving this game right now. It's still up on my board. I still plan on playing it. That was number 6, Dungeon Degenerates. Number 5, Cloudspire. Of course, there's going to be a chip theory game in there. I loved Too Many Bones. I've gone back. I even played a little Hoplomachus this year, and they are well known for just these insane, over-the-top quality board games with this chip theory to them. You know, these chips that come out and they've got stats on them, and on many of their games, you are moving these chips around, which represent some sort of units, and they have their special abilities, and it's sort of a tactical fighting game of some sort. And that was Hoplomachus and Too Many Bones and Cloudspire, all of which are very different, but they definitely have kind of a theme going for them. Cloudspire is a fantastic solo game. That's the only way I played it, probably the only way I will play it. Got 29 plays of that in, and at a weight of 4.04, it's a bit of a doozy, but extremely satisfying. So chip theory games. I love it. That was number 5, Cloudspire. Number 4, City of Kings. So Frank West is the designer, and he is a gem. I have watched his videos. I've seen him do playthroughs. He designed City of Kings, which I got in the most plays of any game that I played this year at 55. 55 plays. And it's on the lighter side. It's at 3.08, according to BGG. And I played the heck out of this game. I mean, there was some games that are pretty quick, but it again is another adventure game. But I like the way the story's done. It's kind of got little interesting snippets. It gives you, multiple ways in which you can win, different levels of winning a particular story. And there's a lot of little one-offs you can go on. There's all sorts of things to really get into and sink your teeth. If I'm putting it up on the screen, you can see I can't get all of the... there's just so much to this game. It is massive. And I did pick up a lot of the expansion material, all the expansion material actually, and even, you know, the board, the overlay boards that hold all your pieces together. I love this style of game. It's so wickedly quick to play and get the hang of. Very enjoyable. City of Kings. That was my number 4. So number 3, we're getting to the top 3 now. Pax Premier. This game, man, if there's a game that just like blew away all my ideas of like, I need theme. I mean, this has theme, but it's a history. I'm not a history buff, and it's very, you know, there's a lot of, I'm assuming, facts to this, and so I just couldn't get over it. But once I saw Richard Wilkins did the official solo variant, I finally bit the bullet. I'd always been interested. The mechanics looked sound. And oh my gosh, I mean, the fact that they are sound is an understatement. This game is genius. The way it's put together and the way it feels while you play it, how seamless it is. It's taken some I don't know, some mechanics that they all seem kind of familiar, but it's woven them, am I saying that right? Together in such a way that is just like I said, nothing short of genius. This is a beautiful game, and it plays beautifully. It feels beautiful to play it. Pax Premier, I got 26 plays of that game in, and that is at a weight of 3.7. Number 2, talking about weighty games, I think this is the one. That is Trickerion with the Academy expansion, Dalgaard's Academy. David Turczi designed that whole solo variant, and this is nothing short of like just a masterpiece. You know, how you can take such a heavy game, add more heaviness to it with the Academy. And so, you know, you're playing this magician and you are, you know, trying to prepare tricks, buy the components, set the tricks up. Now with the Academy, you can practice tricks. You can teach them in the classroom, but if you teach them in the classroom, now you can't, you know, do them anymore. But you have to remember when you go up on stage and you actually perform the trick, don't forget your little bonuses here, your bonuses there, bonuses there. It is a heavy, heavy game. And David Turczi managed to pull off, oh, and this is a Mind Clash game too. But Trickerion came out, I don't think, a couple years ago. But finally, the expansion, Dalgaard's Academy, just came out this year. And that is what came with the official solo variant and why I finally picked it up. And oh my gosh, got 16 plays of this in. The weight, so the weight of the Academy expansion is 4.78. Whoa. The game itself, the base game, is 4.17. So I just kind of took the average of those because that felt better. And so the average of this game weight is 4.48. So yeah, that is, I mean, it is, and it feels that heavy, but I don't see it being more difficult to relearn than, say, a game like Cerebrum. Trickerion has a little bit more going for it as far as being able to be intuitive. Last, and certainly not least, and I kind of dwell because, you know, the top 3 there were like, you know, which one's going to be number 1 kind of feel and vibe to it. But it actually didn't take too much deliberation. You know, this game kind of came out of nowhere. It came out earlier in the year. I believe it came out Kickstarter and stuff last year, but I was able to get my hands on it. And that is Nemesis from Awakened Realms. Oh my gosh, this game, the biggest thing about it, so I played 32 games of this, and its weight is 3.3. So it's a pretty heavy game, played a lot of it. It is just so incredibly thematic and immersive as you wake up on the ship and you don't know what the hell is going on, but there are alarms going off and there is noises going on around you. I did probably my favorite playthrough that I did this year, playing this game, where I actually felt inspired to add some sound effects and whatnot in the background, because it was just, I've never just felt so involved in a game like I'm just playing this movie. And just, you know, if we play games to really get away from, you know, reality in a somewhat healthy manner, right? This game takes you out of that and puts you in its reality like no other game I played this year. So Nemesis, number 1 game for me solo this year. So that is it. That is 2019 in the books. I am very much looking forward to this next year and continuing this trend where I do these monthly reviews, which I feel like really gives, I found out, for instance, like with Cerebrum, 1 month, the first month I played it, it was in my disappointment category. And now it made my top 10 list of the year. I find that doing these monthly reviews allows me to really give games a chance, and that I don't just make a snap judgment too early. And I still plan on carrying that through this next year. I do believe I'm going to be putting out a video that's going to go over my top for the decade, top game and designer. So look for that, as well as the MVP shows and all the other stuff that I do on the channel. Thank you for joining me. I hope this year gets you gaming, and I hope you'll join me. I appreciate it as I continue on in this solo tabletop gaming endeavor. So until next time, I so much appreciate you watching. Thank you for joining me. I'm BoardGamerAnts, and I'm out.